What up, y'all? This is Hip Hop History, and we back with another recap. This time is KOTD Mass 4, and it's sort of like the blackout edition. So, you know how that goes. You know, draw names, and as fans, we find out the day of. So that's always fun. And KOTD definitely needed something to spice up that channel because it's been going in kind of like a weird direction. Ever since like the I.C.E battle, they got like Russian subtitles. They inherited, I guess, like some British battles. I'm not sure how that worked out. They had their own kind of like rookies vets thing again with the Gannet Gully, but this is like their strongest event. Like with what Nikaya does with the mass events, I feel like that's the best event they throw. So they definitely needed this one. A lot of fire battles on this card. I didn't catch all of them. I missed like the first few, but we're gonna talk about most of them. So we could get started right away with the main event. The main event was not good. This was probably the weakest battle that I saw. You got Nems, Coney Island, Brooklyn. You got Head Ice, King of the Dot Champ, Harlem, and this was not for the chain. So, I don't know what you expected. Nems is very confident, always has been. He always spit with conviction. That's probably his strong point, and disrespectful, as anyone. And that's what he brought in this battle. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't good, really, in my opinion. I mean, it wasn't bad. I like Nems. He makes good music, but it's just not enough. I don't know. Like battle rap evolved, and you can't really get away with not having bars. Like he's definitely disrespectful. Nems did Nems. He did what he always did. He might be even, a little better than he was back in the day. But, I had Ice 3-0. It was not even close. Also, Ice's rounds were really long, Nems, it seemed like it was like maybe a minute or two for Nems and like 7-8 minutes every Head Ice round. So, Head Ice did his thing. Head Ice went in. I know he respects Nems. There's mutual respect there. They're both legends. So, Head Ice prepared rounds as if he was facing, a top name in today's battle rap, and Nems came with the quick rounds of just, I'll do this to your daughter, this and that. Like I said, it's kind of what you should have expected. I'm not sure what anyone expected though. I think people thought Nems was gonna evolve into like, start scheming and having all these like, metaphors and similes and stuff, but not really. Just in your face disrespect. If you like that, you'll love what he brought to the table. And one thing that he had going for him was that the crowd was really hyped. They were definitely into it. So, if he had crickets behind him, it wouldn't have been a good look. The first round, he was kind of asking the crowd to turn up. And they were. And then, they were turning up on their own. I guess like the most noteworthy thing in his rounds, probably like third round, he brought up I was gonna say the fact, but I don't know if that's a fact. So he was saying that basically Head Ice is a rapist, and that that's on his rap sheet. And then of course, Head Ice's third, he had an angle where he was addressing Nems, with the whole tagging, like in content situation, and I don't know the full story on that. I did see Nems' apology. I saw the picture. He threw up a tag on the Compton sign, and he dropped a video saying, "Hey, I apologize, take responsibility, shouldn't have did that." But bottom line for that battle, 3-0 Head Ice, wasn't even close. You could have probably broke up Ice's first round, and that would have been enough to match what Nems brought to the table. But I never mind these battles. I like seeing the legends come back. I always fuck with Nems, so it was cool seeing him back on that stage. Would I want to see him again? Sure, but not really. Not against Ice too. Like another reason why this was like why I wasn't feeling this battle is just that the matchup. They're like polar opposites as far as like simplicity and abstract bars go. So it's like it's a bad contrast. You hear Head Ice, you're trying to decipher what he's saying, you're catching it. It's a lot of slick lines, and then it's like You go to Nems and it's just kind of like in your face, very very basic stuff. And again, if you like that, but it never matches up well. There's no way Head Ice wasn't gonna 3-0 him. Like I can't see anything he could have done to stop that. But yeah, it is what it is. But I really wasn't feeling that battle. So let's move on. I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as possible. So we got Big T. Oops, I had Big T pretty clearly. Again, similar in what I was just saying. Like Big T is a lot more complex. Oops, I'm not a big fan of Oops. I'm not a big fan of anybody who really preaches. Respect what he does. I'm glad he went like the politician route because that's kind of how he always was as a battler. Like he's very basic with the bars, but he'll have like strong points. It's never complex though. So it's like if you like that, like he had a good third round. He was kind of stumbling though, but that's kind of how his style is. So that didn't hurt him too much. He had a lot of good concepts, but basically he was trying to flip like how like Roan winning on Big T, and Big T was basically saying like with the gun bars that like he came in the game and he's not gonna stop now doing that. So he's like you're perpetuating the violence and this and that. And I don't know. I'm not into that. Like I love battle rap. I love bars. I love battle bars. Like I'm not into this whole like you know uplifting. Which if we're talking real life, absolutely. But in a battle, I don't know. I'm never really big on like the positive approach. That's just not what I like in battle rap. So a lot of that stuff doesn't hit for me. Although it's cool, like do your thing. I got nothing against that. But for me, I'll be honest. I'm a little biased against stuff like that. Same thing when we talk about Loso and any Christian rappers. I'm just not a fan of any of that stuff. I respect it. Do your thing. There's a market for that. Um, by all means, spread your message. But it's just not for me. So I had Big T, pretty clear win. Ooops did his thing. His third round, like I said, that was pretty good, but still, I had Big T all the way through. We got Thesaurus and E-Ness and Battle the Fat, Sweaty Legends, and this was a pretty, I was surprised by this matchup. I don't know who you thought was going to battle who on this card, but I kind of thought it was going to be Thesaurus Iron, and, I just did not expect this. So this again, interesting matchups, the way they set it up. This was a fun battle. I liked it. Again, polar opposites. You got E-Ness. He got bars, but he relies on that flow, and his flow is second to none. Thesaurus, great pen game, consistent, legend, terrible flow. Like Thesaurus is not a good rapper. It is what it is. That's pretty much known, and that's what people usually go in on him for. So this is a tough battle to judge because it's like depends on what you prefer. If you're basing it on who could rap better, obviously E-Ness, but Thesaurus' pen game is crazy. And I like the fact like E-Ness was a little bit more personal than usual in this one. All three rounds definitely crafted for Thesaurus. He had face jokes. Called him everything from he said his face looked like a coffee cake. They called him Ray Liotta. I thought that was hilarious. So Thesaurus, great rounds, but bad breath control. Like he started off right away with just awful breath control. Like 2-3 bars in, he's winded, and it's like, after hearing Ness, like Ness's flow is just so lively and on point, and then you got, this dude straining to get these bars out. It's kind of tough. But first round I had Ness. Saurus had a good bar. He said something like, "I'll come to Philly if you want to box me, Ness, but be careful. Those are some rocky steps." A lot of slick lines and original stuff. We go on to the second round. I had to edge this one to Thesaurus. Standout line. Ness said, "Craftmatic adjustable ratchet reclined everything. I hit you with it twice, Mr. Two-Time Everything." Like I said, all this was directed right at Thesaurus. Love that. Called him a walking, talking cheesecake, and then that played right into Thesaurus' second round. He rebutted that, and his second round was like a lot of making the band bars. So his rebuttal, it was just perfect for that round. That was, I think, Thesaurus' strongest round. He also had a lot of like crazier than crazy glue bars, real good angle. He flipped it, saying like had something along the lines of like I think glue easy. That's his favorite rapper. Talking about how crazy he is, that something about him shooting something up, and it turned out it was a glue gun. It was funny, Thesaurus definitely had that whole round making the band bars, but like mixed in with the madness of Summer Madness that E-Ness brought. Great round. Thesaurus, I had that edge to him. Third round, this one was a little bit tough to judge, and this will probably be the round that makes you decide who won the battle. Ness's third was good, not great. Sounded great, but it was what it was. Standard Ness round, good flow, good, good bars too. He went after like Thesaurus's legend status, and the fact that he was like never on Smack Fight Club, and you got Thesaurus's third. It was good, but the writing was good. Probably the writing was so good that Thesaurus couldn't even spit it out. Like he had some tongue twisters, so he was stumbling. There's some slip ups, and if that's enough to cost him the round, I could see that. If it's not, if you don't care about that at all, you'll probably edge that round to Thesaurus, but I don't know, slips and stumbles, that will cost you. I had Ness, I had him taking that third 2-1, and like almost every battle on this card, usually you hear 2-1 debatables, but a lot of these were like 3-0 debatables. It's just really preference. Like, what do you like more, So if you like someone who could rap and got bars, or someone who got even better bars, in a lot of ways with Thesaurus, but just, not the greatest rapper, and the breath control just really hurts him. If you can't, there was one point he had like kind of like a tongue twister, and he's stumbling on it and he can't get it out, and when he finally gets it out, he goes fire, at his own lines, and it's like, yeah, those lines were fire, but you didn't get them out, well enough. You got to deliver, and he didn't, but good battle. I liked it. I thought this was a fun battle. We can move along. We got Iron and Chilla, and this was probably battle of the night. Great battle on both sides. And another one where real debatable. Depends on what you like. They both had like interesting angles. Chilla, even he had like kind of a dedication to Bender in the third, which was kind of surprising. And I think I had it 1-1 at that point. So when we did get to that third, and there was that part, like he took basically like the way Bender would have certain rhyme schemes. He kind of played off that and did his own version of it, and it was definitely fire. Like Chilla, that really surprised me. It was nice, real well done, and but it kind of throws you off because you're like, all right. I mean, I guess he's still going at Iron, but not, not as direct as he would have been if he wasn't doing that. It was just sort of like, that's a good move to make if you're up 2-0, but it's good to see regardless. That was fire, and Iron, they both went nuts, but I was kind of leaning toward Chilla throughout the whole battle. There was like, Iron goes from, his writing is just incredible. Iron is nice with that pen, but like he'll write some corny stuff sometimes, and it's like I get it, and it's well crafted, but like the topic, or like the theme, the subject matter, it's just kind of corny, So it's like, I don't even know why you would write that, in the first place. Like, why would you go with that? But overall, it's great, the scheme itself, technically. But yeah, I don't know. But fire battle all around. Both of them showed out. This was battle of the night, in my opinion. You could argue real deal math, and that was another crazy battle. And we could get right into that. I did not expect this. I didn't even know what I expected, but math came strong, and he went from like back and forth. You felt like the old math, You got a lot of like hard bars and a lot of funny jokes. Like math, he's just all around great rapper, and he knows how to mix it up, and he was doing that throughout. Also, math definitely always has like good angles. So I don't think he gets enough credit for a lot of stuff. I guess in recent years people will kind of give him more props for being funny, and you know, he brought that to the table here. But then again, you know, like a lot of good bars again. I don't know, but Matt still looks kind of like weird to me at times. You know, like right when the battle started, like he did this like weird like fake swing at Real Deal. You know, punch his own hand or whatever. But he was like kind of close to him. But it was kind of weird. Like you could just tell it is just eating him alive. Like he needs to get that fair one with Disaster so he can move on. Because you could tell he, I don't know. It's just weird. There's just a weird vibe. But it didn't affect him. He had a great performance. And Real Deal too. This was, you know, Real Deal's consistent as hell. You know, he's been nice, you know, since Grind Time days, and you know, no different. This was a great performance. He also had a lot of great angles too. You know, with Real Deal, you'll always get like the school stuff, and Math was going in on him for like certain stuff like that, him being Dot Mob and all that. But everything he did, he flipped it in a real original way, and the same went for Real Deal. Like a lot of the angles that he took with Math were very original. This was a great battle, top to bottom. This you could even argue was Battle of the Night, but I think Chilla and Iron are just a level above as far as like being really technical, you know, with the writing. But the Math Real Deal kind of more like that overall package, like more charismatic and across the board great, like funny, everything, and really clever, like clever wordplay, clever lines, you know. Yeah, Real Deal was really in his bag. He had a lot of bars, but again, yeah, this is like a preference battle, you know, depending on who you like more, that's who you'll probably go with. I might have been leaning towards Real Deal, even though like I'd prefer Math, but great battle either way. And you know, overall, this was a really good event. I caught the only other battle that I caught. I think it was yeah, Loso and Money Bagz. You know, that was a good battle. It wasn't on the level of these, but it was good too. Especially that third round. Uh, Loso was kind of going in on you know, Money Bagz being stabbed and all that, and it was like this scheme about like God trying to save money. But it was slick, and it looked like it's like one of those rounds where you could see the opponent being affected by it. Like you could just see the look on Moneybag's face, but he wasn't. Yeah, he turned up right away when the third started, so he was going with the whole, you know, like biblical approach. You know, kind of telling him, like I could only save myself, and if you believe this, like kind of poking holes in a lot of theories and stuff. Dope. You know, good performance from both of them. This again, you know, it's a toss up. Depends on who you like more. I would have leaned towards Moneybags. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Loso fan, but I do respect him and I do think he's nice. It's just the content, you know. It's like I can't really get with it like all the way. Same thing with like A Ward and Saga, and it's like they're all nice though. Don't get me wrong, but just not for me. Leaning a little, yeah. I would have leaned towards Moneybags, but again, you know, it's preference. So. You know, the other battles I didn't really catch enough of them to even review, and so I'll keep it at that. Trying to keep this one brief, stay under 20 minutes, but good event. You know, if you haven't yet, you know, cop that pay-per-view support. I thought it was a good overall event, and this will be good for KOTD to mix it up with their uploads, because I don't know, lately they will have some good battles though. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it's not really what KOTD was doing last year. I thought last year KOTD had a strong year, but these mass events are great. So you know, I hope they continue doing this. I hope Nakai keeps booking these type of events. Like I said, you know, main event was a little underwhelming, but the rest of the battles made up for it. Very good event. So that's pretty much it. That's what I got. So if you enjoyed the video, you know, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.